Scared of flying? A lot of people are, but it doesn't have to be scary. Here are 8 common myths to make flying seem scarier than it really is. That's not oxygen in those masks. I've seen various influencers claim this. It simply isn't true. It is true that there isn't oxygen freely in those canisters, however. This is how the process works. When those masks come down and you pull on the mask, it pulls a pin in the canister that starts a chemical reaction inside the canister. This chemical reaction creates the oxygen for the mask. It is real, normal oxygen. It's just created with a bit of science. Here's a bonus myth about those masks. You only have 15 minutes to land or you die from lack of oxygen. This is completely false. While it is true there's only about 10 to 15 minutes of oxygen in those masks, it's more than enough time for the pilots to do an emergency descent. Below 10,000 feet, the air is dense enough to breathe normally. 10 to 15 minutes is plenty of time to go, even from cruise altitude to 10,000 feet where the masks are no longer needed. Airplane cabins circulate germs, making you sick. This is not true. While it is true that you have higher chance of getting sick while traveling, it is not due to germs circulating in the cabin. The true reason is rather simple. You're exposed to many more people while traveling. There's thousands of people who go through big international hubs every day. You're also sitting right next to someone for an extended period of time. That is why you get sick. The exposure to other people who are sick. Airplane cabin air systems have very advanced filtration systems that filters out those bacteria. Airplanes fly themselves. Why do we need pilots? It is true that all modern commercial airliners have advanced autopilots, and some can auto-land. But pilots still have to program the autopilot first and command it. They spend their entire time monitoring the instruments, including making sure the autopilot is behaving correctly. Pilots always perform the takeoff, and some perform the climb as well. Landings are almost always done by hand. While it is true that a lot of planes can auto-land, it is only used in near zero visibility conditions. The auto-land system also lands the plane a lot harder than an experienced pilot can. Pilots love flying. That's why they become pilots. They would rather fly the plane a bit than let the autopilot do everything for them. Accident means certain death. This is very wrong. In the unlikely event you are involved in an accident, you might have some injuries, but the chances of survival are quite high. Almost all accidents are survivable. In fact, the studies found that accidents have a 95% survival rate. This is due to airplane design and the excellent training cabin crew and pilots receive. Flying is the safest way to travel. If you're concerned about it, there's evidence that says sitting near the back of the plane increases survival rate more than sitting in the front. But I thought flying was dangerous. It isn't. Flying is, in fact, an extremely safe form of travel. This is unfortunately largely due to past accidents. There's a saying in the field, aviation safety is written in blood. It is unfortunate so many people have been injured or lost their lives due to accidents. But those accidents identified weaknesses in the system. 99% of those weaknesses were fixed, and aviation has become much safer. You're far more likely to die driving to the airport than you are once you get on the plane. Planes don't fly over the Bermuda Triangle because it causes crashes. This is far from true. In fact, if you've ever flown from Miami to Europe, you went over the Bermuda Triangle. It isn't a supernatural, disaster-guaranteed place. The weather there is unpredictable. Winds are higher, among other natural weather-related events. That is what caused crashes in the past, not a supernatural force. It is true that there are some unexplained disasters or strange events, but try to think about it logically. There had to be some reason, and it isn't likely to be supernatural. It is fun to think about though, and I do enjoy thinking about the possible supernatural aspect, but it is a very safe area for planes, because pilots are trained to avoid storms. Airplane mode off causes crashes. Nope, it will not cause a crash. You'll hear it interferes with navigation equipment, but this isn't true. The equipment is already equipped with protections against electromagnetic interference. The worst that will happen is that you will annoy pilots and air traffic controllers. Your phone's transmitter does interfere with the plane's radio and can annoy pilots and controllers trying to communicate. An engine failure will cause a crash. While it might seem strange, an engine failure is not inherently dangerous. Pilots are trained very well for this. Twin engines can fly perfectly fine on one engine, and 4-engine planes can fly perfectly fine with 3. It is a concern and will result in diversion most of the time, but it will not result in an accident most of the time. Even if all engines fail, the plane doesn't just fall out of the sky. A runway needs to be found fast, but the plane can glide for a while. Even if the plane loses an engine over an ocean, you will still be perfectly fine. Even over an ocean, the plane will always be within range of a suitable diversion airport, even if it only has one engine. Well, there are 8 aviation myths busted. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, a like and a sub would be awesome. See you in the next one.